Oh, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Part 2 of Sakamoto Days. You gotta remember, back in the spring of 2025, this anime took Japan over. Luckily for me, I was in Tokyo, Japan on vacation when this came out, and when I say this anime was all over the place, I mean it. It was on bus stops, it was on cars, restaurants, flyers. They even had a pop-up event. You truly couldn't escape Sakamato. I instantly became a fan. If you watched my season 1 review, which I'm going to plug right here, you can tell I was a fan because this show truly hit different. It didn't mess around, and due to its popularity, we're going to be doing the week-to-week format. Unfortunately, since it got so popular, they didn't drop the entire series, which I review and what I prefer, but I'm going to give you deep diver, bigger updates, and my recaps and thoughts on the show's direction and where they're going to be taking it. Big fan. Make sure you stick around and enjoy. Just as a quick little recap, we got to remember that in the season finale, our guy Sakamoto is pretty much got put in the John Wick spot. Even though he wants to retire, they have $1 billion bounty on his head, and they really won't allow him to do that. We get to see him and his team of misfits all bundled up in the Sakamoto store, but let's get straight into it. We got season 2, episode 1 or 2, or episode 12 and 13. Realistically, I hate when they do this shit because you have a part 1 and a part 2, but we never know if it's a new season or it's a continuation, but I digress. As we saw at the end of last season, we have the 4 super crazy, dumb, OP characters who are menaces to society. This is how we're going to jump into season 2 or part 2 of Sakamoto. They jump straight off the porch with this. The death row inmates have nothing to lose, and they love killing people. It's crazy. In this part 2, this season gets very dark. Everybody is getting killed. Within the first 2 minutes of episode 1, we see 2 of the 4 doing just evil. Murder, death. It's not funny at all. It's pure action. We have one of the 2 cutting people in half, turning them into sliced cheese. Then we have part 3, ripping people apart. And last but not least, the 4th member smashing people into small bite-sized balls. Like, what in the actual fuck? These 4 are pure evil, just because they don't want Sakamoto to stay retired. We learned that we have many players out and about, and it is going to make a turn for this second half. That is going to be the Slur and the Order, and of course, Sakamoto and his misfits. With all of this savagery going on, we have to take a look at Mr. Sakamoto as the constant comic relief. Yeah, remember, he is OP and our MC, and we see that in episode 1 as well. He's falling asleep, he's doing his other training by catching bullets with chopsticks, just pure comedy. It is hilarious, and that is Sakamoto at his finest. We were building up for some real heat, so we had to get some old-fashioned LOLs to start us off. And this comes sooner than later when we find out Sakamoto went from an S rank savage to a B rank. Mr. OP himself is getting looked at as a pushover. We also get to see our psychic friend Shin and the old-fashioned drunk Lou. And what we do see is them taking on one of the members. And that savage's name is Saw. We get to see the first look of the one of the 4. You can look into his mind through Shin's eyes, and all he has is evil aura and an evil intent. He even states that only thing he can think about is killing. Shin has something to prove after being labeled a D-rank hunter/spy. Yeah, he's fell behind Lou, the drunk. She's a C rank and he's a D rank. That's the comic relief that you're going to get in Sakamoto Days. As the opener starts to come to an end, the biggest takeaway we see is Shin's reflexes are now becoming intuitive. Once he reaches that level, he can truly see the future. He can see everything frame by frame, and shout out to Deku over there at My Hero Academia, but Shin goes past his limits. He does have that dog in him. He's a very nice guy, but you have to mess with him and his. That being Sakamoto and the rest of his team. Switching gears, that is how we open up the show, but as we jump into episode 13, we understand how he went past his limits, how it became intuitive. Like I said, if you mess with Shin's personal family, the ones that he loves, and he shows Sakamoto as his family, as his mentor, as his battle buddy, he is willing to do that. And as the battle continues with Saw, we find out that our main drunk has to get in there. I'm talking about Lou. And we already know when Lou starts going, she's gonna start drinking. Shout out my man Tev Light. But anyways, our gal Lou starts smacking the ethanol bottle and summoning her Jackie Chan drunken master, and we have a real 2v1 in full effect. This show is glorious because we know that with all the death and all the murder, it can get dark. But when Lou starts drinking, the lighter tones show through, and the fight scenes are great. The fight scenes and the death scenes are yin and yang in the opening of this show. The psychic and the drunk end up taking out one of the 4 of the death row inmates, that man being Saul. He is defeated and embarrassed, and he begins to run for his life. He even says this is how it feels because he is always wanting to see people at the end of their life. Well, he does not like to be on the receiving end. However, he takes off running. He does evade them after taking an embarrassing L. Little do we know that he is not going to get out scot-free. He makes a run for the airport, and as he jumps inside of the taxi, he has somebody else sitting behind him. The unnamed man crushes his head like a watermelon. Blood splatters everywhere, leaving 3 remaining death row savages. The show does not let off the gas pedal either. As we transition, we get to find out that the other one of the 3 big groups, the Order, are in hunt for the rest of the death row inmates as well. Pure savagery. The scene is brutal, like I mentioned earlier. And the one part of the 2, Osaragi, she isn't messing around. She ends up finding the second member, Dump. Now, Dump is the lady who likes to impale people. We saw in part 1 how unhinged Osaragi was, and it does continue in this scene too. The scenery is mixed with a music that's giving me like a cyberpunk mixed with a samurai champloo. The scene itself is very intense, but the music has a soft undertone. Dimp has daggers all throughout her body, and she impales anybody and anything that it touches. We do get a small backstory of one of the 4 savages, one of the 4 death row inmates being Dump. And the backstory is she loves everybody so much that she wants to kill them so she doesn't have to suffer a heartbreak. If that shit isn't evil, then I don't know what the fuck is. Sadly for Dump, Osaragi is built different, and that chainsaw inside of her suitcase that she's been changing around and carrying around all day, well, we get to see her cut herself in half. Pure brutality, pure evil. Osaragi is not to be messed with, and that brings 2 people, 2 of the death row inmates, finding their end. To get a little more depth, to get a little more storyline, we see that the 3rd member, who is a part, he is just an unhinged psychopath as well. There's only 2 more remaining, but as a part, member number 3 of the death row inmates, he finds our furry leader Kashima. He learns that him and the other 4 were simple chess pieces in a far larger game. All of them leading to the demise and the death of Sakamoto. So in hindsight, we have 2 of the 4 dead. We have 1 being a part who just went AWOL, and then the last piece of the puzzle. That last piece is the gigantic, psychotic, enormous, gripping person. This man walks inside of the Sakamoto's place, and that is where episode 2 ends. It was a great start to bring us back into the Sakamoto universe. There was a whole lot of heat coming in the first 2 episodes. It has a little bit of comic relief, but a lot more violence, way more than anyone could have predicted, especially in this storyline. This is why it took Tokyo, Japan by the collar of spring of 2025, and it isn't letting up. It has the making for an anime that can have a really good run. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that Sakamoto Days is back, but that's the review. Let me know what you thought about the episode as a whole. Do you think there's too much violence? Does it need more comic relief? And lastly, are we going to see Mr. Sakamoto go into his young man form again? But that's the review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what y'all thought about the review and the episode, and I'll holler at y'all on the next one.